Cause you're red, big, savage as fuck. Your friends are nerds are trying to get the girl. Well, you just might be red, big, savage as fuck. Sean is rapey and your dad's a putz, and your writers suck. Yeah, you're red, big, savage as fuck.
And welcome to Star Eats presents The Wonder Years After Dark, the global broadcast, Quantum Global Broadcasting Network.
And QB.
QBGN. There's so many of them. We're the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, and we are Stoner Eats, bringing you another episode of The Wonder Years After Dark. I am Ernest, Kiwi, and we are on episode 2. So, just for those who are catching up, what we do is we basically we review episode 1 of the regular Wonder Years compared to episode 1 of the new Wonder Years, and then so on episode 2. So we're on episode 2, so it's episode 2 of the regular Wonder Years and episode 2 of the new Wonder Years.
Snap out of it, man. This isn't the time or place for looking at girls. This is a memorial for a hero.
The Wonder Years, 2.
Yeah, Wonder Years
2, episode 2. I mean, that fucking, it's gotta get better.
Honestly, number 2 wasn't as bad as the first one.
It's not as bad as episode 2. It's gotta get better.
Well, yeah. So it did get better between 1 and 2. So I'm hoping it just keeps moving in that direction. So by halfway through the season, we might have a decent TV show.
Writers then?
I don't really know. I mean, it did seem like it was different, like is in the way that the story went and the storyline. So I would assume that the first one was a pilot. Yeah. And then which then let them to get to where they are to get writers or get more writers or even have writers.
Basically, a kid can cease to exist.
Become Savage as fuck.
Yeah, they are, and it's directed by Fred Savage, so there's that still there, which I think is savage as fuck. Also, I think it'll never be as good as the original Wonder Years, because how do you keep it? How do you keep yours number 1? Easy. You work for the next one trying to beat you, and you sabotage that shit.
Well, like what I was telling you earlier about that Girl Meets World, like they bring back Corey and Topanga, and Corey and Topanga have kids, or they have a kid, and the kid's like in high school, and Corey is he's a teacher, so he basically became Beanie, and it just sort of like went up a level, or a generation, or however old Beanie's like fucking easy.
My favorite night of the month, just me, my family, and my jammy pants.
Why do you guys have to make such a big deal about game night?
Because game night is sacred, Riley. I know this is going to come as a shock to you, but there's going to come a day where you start to prioritize friends over your family.
What? No. Did you tell him yet? Did he freak? Did she tell you? Did you freak? Show me what you did. Freak out for me.
After a weekend full of heartache over Kisa and marches and riots on the news, I actually looked forward to the mundane normalcy of school. Yep, it'd been like this ever since I stepped off the bus.
Okay, class, pay attention. Here are last Friday's quiz scores.
A C? My GPA was being assassinated. And before you say anything, that's a great metaphor. And the quiz was all metaphors. So how'd I get a C? Oh, right. It was the night I saw my former friends, Corey and Kisa, kiss.
Dean, may I speak to you? It's not like you to get a C. Do you have an explanation? Maybe it was unfair of me to expect you to study. This must be such a difficult time for your people. Let's just go ahead and make this one an A.
Wait, what's this now?
You mean because of Dr. King?
You must feel so lost.
Now, I knew that taking advantage of the tragic death of the greatest civil rights icon in history was inappropriate, but I'd just gotten my heart broken for the first time. Give me a break.
So lost. This helps.
Does this help too?
Yes.
Yeah, good old Kevin Arnold. So, and then we're also watching a show that's supposed to be like, an African American version of this, but it's being ran by Fred Savage, who's obviously not African American. Yeah, exactly. Right? Which sounds like Hollywood, so that's about right. I'm just waiting for one of them to wear a dress. I'm just kidding. When's the dad have to wear the dress? Yeah. It's fucking horrible.
Once you get big enough, if the show takes off, the dude's gonna wear the dress.
A lot of commitment. It's hard. But when you make it to the top, it's worth it. I think. Except for black actors. For black actors, there's only one way to the top. And that's in a dress.
Of course, it's racist. In fact, it's the most insidious kind of racism because it sneaks up on you. I can't tell you how many times I've been offered a role that I think is just for me, and I later find out it was passed up on by Gabrielle Union or Gabrielle Sidibe.
Shit, I've been living as a black woman now for at least a decade. It was the only way I could get work. My husband and kids don't even know. Until now. They know now, don't they? Can you just take me out of this?
Oh, yes. The feminization of the black male actor as a source of comedy dates as far back as at least the Mayflower. I've counseled some of these young men as they've grappled with the dress question. Not always successfully.
So I'm doing Whose Line Is It Anyway? Everything is just hitting every single thing. The audience is loving it. They're laughing so loudly that the cast of Seinfeld comes from next door and tells us to keep it down. No, Jerry. And just as I'm getting ready to sing my song and do my thing, Colin Mockery barges in and goes, "Hey, beautiful Chanel dress with a slit up the side. Wonderful cleavage." Oh, the audience loved it. They started clapping at that. They're screaming, "Ah, it's got a Chanel skirt on." They can now visualize me in a Chanel skirt. Me in a Chanel skirt. So I punched him in his face. That episode never aired.
Look, there is a line that I am just not willing to cross, and that is a clothesline. Okay, I'm sorry. Look, it started out innocent enough. They gave me a pair of pantyhose. I put them on. Can't nobody see that. Then they come in, they offer me a bra. Lord help me, when I slipped it on, I could just feel my IMDb star meter rising. It got to the point where I would just wear a dress wherever I went.
This is total bullshit. I mean, plenty of white guys have worn dresses in comedy. What about a classic, Some Like It Hot, Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, huh? Tootsie, Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire, Monty Python, all of them. Kids in the Hall, all of them. Jesus Christ. Is this the whole premise of this documentary? I mean, it makes no sense. You've wasted everybody's time.
Well, Adam Sandler did it? Oh. Well, that's dope, because he's rich. Yeah.
I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah. I'm proud of my time wearing a dress. I mean, that was the whole point I was trying to make the whole time.
It's lazy comedy. That I can do. Shoot, that's just hack. I can do hack.
I mean, you never see the black family in a Leave It to Beaver style setting. No.
Let's go fishing.
Yeah, but this is what that is.
It was an
unwritten rule that my dad's weekday fishing trips changing a view and trying to show you a different life, which I think in one aspect is good, but I still think on the other aspect it's weird watching it because you've never seen it like this. So you're like, okay, so you're like pulling for it, but then you get this Disney version of something. and you're like, I mean, no offense, but my dad fishes a lot. Like, he's obsessed with fishing. So I've seen fishing, I've been around it. I can't really explain how many African Americans I've seen out there like, I'm fishing every Sunday, it's my time. Of course, you know, like, so there's that. I'm not saying that if you're like, you can't fish or don't fish, that's just actively ignorant. I'm just saying I don't think that's big on their list of sports.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the fact that this one was
Among the
based
many
around a
great
father and son
historical
talk,
milestones of 1968,
you know,
perhaps the greatest was the
fishing
advent of
was
sex education in the schools.
awkward. It's almost like they're taking like some Leave It to Beaver, Andy Griffith type, you know, shit, and then placing a black family right because they're dressed like them and just placing them right. Over.
Yeah. Again, it's not. I don't think it's actually like taking
the female reproductive organs.
Black people
look like
or some black people. It's like taking a white person.
Unfortunately, it looked more like a cow's head to me.
Now, who can tell me what these are? Yes.
The ears?
Apparently, I wasn't alone.
The ovaries. The ears would be up here.
Why don't you draw the whole lady? So we know where everything goes. Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, the whole lady.
All right.
Oh my God, everything. My gosh.
Suddenly, it became very clear why Mr. Cutlip had never been married. Any man who saw women that way would have no reason to.
Now, the ovaries, of course, are the site of ovulation.
I digress. Exactly. So, and I'm Ernest, right? And I'm going to jail. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to camp. I'm going to Africa. Woohoo! And then I'm going to the White House. Go!
Oh man! But first, I gotta go strike gold with this Beverly Hillbillies. Varnish. Anyways, that's our time. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Ernest! Ernest! Ernest!
Yes, Pee-wee.
You brought the snacks, right?